And welcome to a another episode of the Other People Show. We're in season 5, and this is episode 1. Um, it's been a while. It's been, I think, the last time that we actually had a real life show was maybe back in early January, maybe December. It's hard to put together what it is, but it's been a lot of weather issues. It's been a lot of mental health, depression issues. It's been life. It's been a lot of things happening. It's been coming up with some new projects, some new sketches, some new ideas for the show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. But it's been really difficult, personally, to have had the show started back. And it's been a seasonal depression. It's been many things. And we're going to start doing some cool things back here on the show. Now, we're going to start having weekly guests. I think I'm going to have a different person on every week to discuss some things, maybe a particular topic. If we're getting into some niche topics and such, there'll be some specialized people in there, and we will get back some of the old favorites back on the show, such as Keaton and Jake, Lana, maybe Shelly might come back on, possibly even Felicia and some new people. So it's going to be a lot of fun things in store that's going to be happening in this new year. Now, I'm wondering if 2022 has treated you all any better than it's treated myself. Now, right now, I'm not sure if you can tell, but my skin's really dry. I've run out of moisturizer. Now, a lot of people do ask me. This isn't on the itinerary. There is one, but a lot of people do ask me, what do you do to look relatively young? And I will say, I guess genetics has some part to play, but this right here, this water has so much to play in not only health, but your skin and detoxifying your body, moisturizing your skin. So drink water, exercise, and eat. I don't eat that well. I had a pork barbecue sandwich earlier, some fries, and a few little small hush puppies. Had some of those, and I think I drank about half of a Long Island iced tea. It was pretty delicious, and then dashed. That's what I've done most of today, most of yesterday, and things of that nature. So I do want to get into a few topics tonight. My producer back there, we're going to try some new things with the cameras and with some of the special features that we have here. But my silent producer back there is still a little on edge about having to run things. So I'm not sure how much of that we'll get into tonight. If you do want to message, you can message on the comments section. It'll show up, I guess, on Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you're watching and commenting. Let's get right into the show. So the other night, I was dashing. I had taken $60 out of the ATM. I was going to pay off a debt. The debt being something that I purchased, taking them the money. I pick up a dash along the way. Go to the place to get the dash, take it to the customer, then go to the house. Then I realized that the $60 that I had just taken out of the bank vanished, gone, nowhere to be found. So, hello, Lisa. So, me being as I am, $60 is not something that I'm going to just be like, oh, well, I lost it. I lost the money. So I'm going to go back and look. So I do go back and look, not there. Go back to the residence house in the mud, in the cold. Have you? I have. This was last week when it was cold weather, part of the seasonal depression. So running down this road, um, I'm having to pee as well. I'm not peeing, but I do have to pee. Running, looking through for the $60 on the ground. Going back, I have to pee. I stop right in the middle of the road. There's houses on both sides. It's kind of this secluded driveway, dead end road, and I do pee in the middle of the road, going back to the car. So my question is, I was having a conversation a little bit later, and I was like, one of us was like, "Well, I guess it's someone's lucky day. They found $60." So the question would be, if you found money on the street or in a restaurant, would you turn it in if you did not know the owner, and if you don't know 100% if the owner would ever get the money back if you turned it in? Do you want to be a good citizen? Yes, you do. Do you want to do the right thing? Yes, I'm sure that you do. However, if you find $500 on the ground, let's say on the ground, you're looking both left and both right, no one around, the restaurant's closed. What do you do with that money? Do you keep that money? Do you try to find the rightful owner of that money? Or do you take that money to the bank and deposit it into your account? Now, if you go back to the restaurant, you could say, did anyone happen to turn in some money? Did anyone ask if anyone had turned in some money? Had anyone, reported some money missing? Maybe that kind of a question. Other than that, you're not going to know who the rightful owner is of that money. So what do? Turn it into the place, turn it into the police. Let's just say 500, let's say $1,000. What do you do? What do you do? I know what I'm going to do. I definitely know what I'm going to do. And deep down, I think you know what you're going to do. You could claim, I'm going to be the great citizen. I'm going to be the loyal person. I'm going to take that high moral ground and turn over that money, because you know what? Whoever lost that money might need it more than I do. Possible, true. However, I, and possibly you, may need that money more than the person who lost it. Because if you're losing $1,000 in cash, that means you at least have $1,000 in cash to lose. Because why are you carrying $1,000 in cash on you? You could be a drug dealer. You could be maybe just come back from the ATM. You don't have a bank account. There's people that don't have a bank account, I think. But the fact of the matter is, I truly believe that most people would pocket the money. Pocket the money. Pocket the money. I don't know. I guess I'll look in the comments over the next couple of days and then see what people say. You wouldn't take the money? Yes, you would. My producer's back there in the booth saying he would take the money. He would definitely take the money. You would definitely take it. So anyway, that's just some food for thought. Another thing that I was wondering, and it's not just something recently, it's been something over the past, I don't know, maybe the past 10 years. No, actually, I'm not going to get into that. I want to get into something else before I get into that. Sorry. Now, everyone has had boyfriends or girlfriends of the past. There's certain characteristics that you might not like about them. They could be bossy, they could be naggy, they could be a flirt, whatever it may be. And those things can be changed. Those things can be talked about. Those things can be discussed, come to a mutual agreement for the most part. And I'm not saying that always will work out, but there's a possibility that those things can be changed. What if that you're really attracted to someone? It could be physically, or it could be conversationally, mentally, whatever it may be. You are attracted to this person, but their voice really annoys you. Their voice really kind of makes your stomach could churn. Now I'm getting a message saying about the money. Would you? I don't know if you would turn the money in if you're the prime suspect. That's a very small joke that only a few will get. But thank you, Dulcie, for bringing that up. That is that's a fun memory, and that's another time that I will explain on the show. But a fun memory. But yeah, really, what? Because I was going through sometimes in between dashing or filming things or coming up with a show or doing a variety of things. I do occasionally look back upon sketches that we've done, shows that we've done, to try to make it better. What can I do to make it better? So I've went back and I've looked at some of these sketches from the past, and then there are some where there's a particular female that's in them, and it's very difficult for me to actually listen to her voice. It's almost like sticking pins. I'm exaggerating, obviously, for radio effect or video effect, but metaphorically, it's like sticking pins in my ears. Now, I don't know if you all have seen the Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare, I think, but there's a death where this guy's death, but there's a death about the deaf guy where Freddy, I think, sticks these Q-tips all the way through his ears, through the kid's ears. And I'm not saying it hurts that bad, but going back and listening to her voice, I'm thinking, how could I have ever really went out with someone whose voice not only sounded like that, and I'm not even talking about an accent or anything like that, but also realizing and actually knowing I thought about this person's voice like this the entire time. And I continue to go out with them. Hey, Keaton. Hey, Ray. Hey, Dulce. Hey, Ronald. So thanks, everyone. I missed all these earlier, so thank you for tuning in. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Lana. But still, it's kind of like if I guess the point I'm trying to make is if you do not like someone's voice, it's going to be very difficult to continue with that person in a relationship. So I will advise someone, as terrible that as I've been in relationships, that I'm not saying first and foremost, because it's not the end all. Well, it could be the end all be all thing, because you don't want someone whispering in your ear sweet nothings and then their voice making you cringe. That's not what you want. That's not what you don't want to go limp. You don't want to go dry, do you? Women, men, you want sexiness. I'm just not talking about in that regard, but in all seriousness, going back and listening to her voice and a lot of people don't like the sound of their own voice when they go back and listen to it on a recording or a video. There's been so many people that have not wanted to do the show or actually be in a sketch because they don't like the sound of their own voice. I don't like the sound of my own voice. I truly don't. But I'm forced to go back and listen because everyone sounds different to themselves than they sound to other people. Because we're listening through a thick skull. I guess other people might be too. I don't know. But Ray, you've had surgery on our vocal cords and have always had issues with your voice. Now I have known. I've heard Ray's voice. She sent me. I like Ray's voice. I think she has a very nice voice, and it's very positive. Like you can feel and hear and gather a positive vibe, or a depression or low energy in just someone's voice. And there's been many times I've come on the show with low energy because depression. And thank you, Ray, or you're welcome, I guess I could say. And it's that's just the way it is. But yeah, that's just something that you could maybe think about when going into the future. Oh, well, there's another one that that was brought to my attention. Now, I will go into this. Now, many years ago, I had a friend. It was the best friend. He did the show with me, the Midnight Mutants radio show, which was the show we did before this. And he had went out with a girl that was annoying, a girl that we didn't like, a girl that once we mistakenly we saw pictures of her bent over on the hood of the car in a red thong. I'll never get that gross image. Ugh, sorry. It's been many years ago, and I still sorry about that. Had a flashback. Anyway, I digress. So her voice was one of the most annoying voices that I had ever heard. And I knew from then that him and her would never be a successful couple due to her annoying screech. And I would say she would constantly repeat his name over and over and over. And I would say his name, but then that would give away who it is, and they might be watching, which the girl's not watching, but the guy's watching, and I don't want to make it feel bad. But we were right. They didn't work out, and it was not a surprise to me at all. Not a surprise to me. So we're about 20 minutes into the show. Thank you all for watching the other people's show. And I kind of did this show low key. Keaton had been doing the show with me since September, and I didn't even really tell him that I was going on the show, because the reason being I wasn't 100% sure I was going to do the show, and I only made the promos to do the show because it would make me do the show. Lisa's saying she doesn't know how anyone dates anymore. Everyone sucks. Maybe that's the problem, Lisa. Everyone doesn't. Well, they do, but sometimes maybe they don't. I don't know. I think they do. I'm not. I don't really want to say I'm a people person. Like I can talk on here, attempt, but in like everyday life, I'm not, I'm not as smooth and suave as on the show. Another thing that I'd wanted to talk about, and I wish I did have some pictures but you can look up some. Just look up. You can look up bad menu pictures, and I wanted to know if and you all don't even have to give uh, examples, but you can. But what I'm talking about is you see it often in places that are opening up, restaurants that's been around for 20 years. It doesn't matter. It's. I don't know if anyone the picture that I used on the promotional was from a Michael Douglas movie called Falling Down, and I don't know if anyone's seen that movie. If not, I suggest that you watch it. It's about an everyday man who is tired of every little thing that you have to deal with daily, and he's had enough. He's had enough. Waiting in traffic, privileged people on a golf course, these Nazis, sympathetics in a like a military get up store. So go check that out. I say that to say he goes into a restaurant and he orders what's whatever the burger is, the burger. So they bring the burger, they give it to him, and it's mushed together, and it doesn't really resemble the burger that's on the picture above. So what I'm talking about in regard is the place might have excellent food. It might be a delight to eat there. It might be one of these new places where you can only go there if you're a couple. They only serve couples. Couples. You can be a couple of idiots, a couple of goofs, but a couple of people can go in, or a couple to whatever. But the restaurants have, they could have good or bad food. That's irrelevant. But the pictures on the menu do not look appealing to the public that's presented to. For example, if you're going to present a hot dog, a delicious hot dog, a hot dog with chili, maybe mustard, onions, are you going to put a glob of mustard on there? Or 8 pieces of onion that's not even diced up? Some places do. And how do they do that and think, let's present this looks appetizing. Let's present this let's put this on our menu. Now, I think there's a couple of episodes of Gordon Ramsay where he mentions things like that on the menu. And exactly, Ray is saying, make it look good. Exactly. If you go and you open up a menu, or you go to the social media page, Facebook, Twitter, Insta, whatever it may be, and you look at the spaghetti, you don't want it to look like, worms rolling, squirming through rusty sauce. Ray made me laugh just now. You want it to look like an appetizing, fresh sauce in these great noodles that look just like they've been prepared, and you almost want to be able to smell the dish, not be repelled by the dish, by the picture of the dish. I don't know, just something on my mind. But please go and look on Google and just type in like bad food menu pictures, or something like that. That's something that I think you should do. So it's been fun. Next week, I'm not sure who's going to be on with me, but I know that the week after that, we have a musical act. Hey, Tina. Now, Tina's saying that she understands the movie Falling Down on a daily, and I do too. But yeah, so what we have coming up in the next little bit, we have I did get around to writing two episodes of Pippin, so we're going to finish the season of Pippin So I'll re-release the first two, and then we will show the second two. We have a 48-hour film fest that's going to be that's probably going to be in May, but we're actually working on that behind the scenes. Going to be a lot more interactive things here on the show. Going to have some great people on as well. You know, Keaton, Lana, we got Jake, maybe Shelly, maybe Ray might want to come on. Felicia, an array, maybe we got some brand new people, some guests, some musical guests. So please check out. Quick question: how do you feel about being tickled? That is a good question. Now, I don't want to say I dislike being tickled. I'm very ticklish in every way, and actually that can be worked into, like, foreplay, sex play, whatever, playtime. But that being said, because it's kind of erotic in a way, unless you're like doing like tickling to your crying and that kind of thing. I like trying to see how much I can take. And sometimes I feel like, yeah, I've made some leaps and bounds with it. And sometimes I'm ticklish to the point that I'm like, I could actually buck and kick you and from being tickled. So it depends. So thank you everyone for tuning into the show. It's been a great show. Check out if you want to check out some things, if you're on the YouTube page, check out many of the shows or sketches on there, and please like and subscribe to the YouTube page. If you don't have a YouTube account, it only takes a few moments to log on and create an account. Please go on there, and I will follow you back. I don't have a problem. Yeah, and if anyone wants to go check out my OnlyFans page, it's Ryan Parker on OnlyFans. You can do that. So you all have a good night. We will be back on next Thursday at 10 p.m. We're going to be starting a movie show back up again, but next Thursday at 10 p.m. And we are the other people. So have a good night, everyone.